Hey friends, my name is Waylon, and we're live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook, and we're live on YouTube. As always, say where in the world you're from in comments. It's always fun to see where, to feel, especially in these kind of isolated and scary and crazy, strange times, to feel a little bit of community and love. And if you feel like giving a wave or a funny faced emoji or a comment of any kind, of question, let me know. My name is Waylon. I work with Elephant. And there are a bunch of things I wanted to talk about today. Plastic and clothing. It took me like a million years to realize that plastic is in like everything, even if it says it's wool or whatever. You just got to read those labels. All socks, wool is, plastic is not good stuff. Please watch Seaspiracy. We can get into that another time. Today I thought, because I'm a huge fan of the rise and fall story of WeWork. There's so many lessons in it. The sort of myths of white male kind of cult entrepreneurship were exploded in that. And not just men. I mean, you have the same thing with Theranos. But I want to talk about sort of my entrepreneurship journey briefly and a little bit of advice for entrepreneurs and business folks out there trying to start their own. It could be a small mom and pop. It could be a big dream. I don't know if that's interesting to anyone. If it is, please let me know. But unconditionally, I wanted to talk about it because I think it's helpful. I think that there's a big myth around entrepreneurship that, you're like sitting around with friends and you're frustrated by something and you have an idea and it's this brilliant, perfect little idea that no one has ever thought of. It's a solution. It rises out of some sort of problem. And then, magically you start a company. Usually the magical part is hiding the fact that you're getting family help or the investment of the investment of investors who then expect your business to be loyal to quarterly returns above mission, to selling out to the man as soon as possible and as soon as you can get a good enough price. So what we, the people, are left with is this huge world of kind of D-bag, douchebag businesses who don't care about anything more than quarterly returns, who want to make a fast buck and get the hell out. And we idolize those people. We put them up on pedestals. I don't, but a lot of us do. A lot of us say, wow, that person made millions. They live in this amazing place now and they have this amazing car and wow, what a success. They're so cool. And those kind of people love to run for office as well. So we really need to examine the whole path. And there's a book, I've interviewed Bo Burlingham, one of my idols, journalist, a real journalist, wrote for Inc., not just a hippie writing about idealistic businesses. He wrote a book called Small Giants, which I'm always repping, always recommending. And Small Giants is about a different kind of business, a business that isn't idealistic and it's not some naive thing. They want to make money. They want to pay their employees well. They want their employees to stick around. They want to be successful, but they care about the craft and the mission long-term, not just quarterly, more than anything. So that's where retention, that's where always being willing to take responsibility and change and evolve as a business comes from, not from chasing after, low-hanging fruit or profits, but from being mission-driven above all else. And by mission, I mean some sense of being a benefit to the world and to others. A little example of that is Yvon Chouinard of Patagonia. A lot of people think of Patagonia when you think of the Small Giants. There's a reason for that. Many, many years ago, I think back in the 90s, he was trying to sell underwear. He was trying to create underwear and sell it. And he was told by all the experts that the underwear had to have this super cool, bright, really fancy package. And he said, I don't want all this packaging. Can't I just put it in nothing, like just a rubber band or whatever? So that's basically what he did against all the advice. And it turned out to be a big success. Not maybe exclusively because of the packaging or lack thereof, but because people could actually touch it, they could see it, and that's just one example of you have to sort of trust your inner guide. You have to listen to others. You can't be crazy, but then you come back to your mission and you look for innovation through mindfulness, through responsibility. And then, another big part of it is almost every business with integrity you look at is either family owned or is independent. So the problem can be if you're getting investors who want to press you for quarterly returns, who want to avoid risk. I can tell you as Elephant, we take risks all the time. We publish controversial articles that are important to our mission, that are important to the world, that are important for society. Today, we have a wonderful article on kind of trans rights and calling out prejudice within the yoga community. And I'm proud of that. We have a wonderful article on George Floyd today by a wonderful newer author on Elephant. We publish things where people get offended and they threaten us all the time. We're not just a smoothie site, as I call the kind of websites that want to play it safe and just get sponsors. And even when we talk about a smoothie, we're talking about packaging, we're talking about organic, we're talking about the fact that smoothies, juices aren't necessarily good for you. There's tons of sugar. You're getting rid of a lot of the good stuff, fiber that nature intended. So, without getting carried away, mission is inherent in everything you do. And all of you who are craftspeople, who care about what you do, who are genuine, kind teachers, know all about this. And I don't need to tell you about it. But just to remind you that there's a lot of people out there who care. And I'm not some capitalism hater particularly, but capitalism feeds this kind of, they're trying to always suck you in, get your attention, make you spend money. And I feel like sometimes I wake up, I flip on Instagram or New York Times or whatever it is, and it's off to the races. All day long, people are marketing at me. So that's why I love good journalism. That's why I love, it's okay to market, but you got to be genuine and it has to be actually good for people, or you're just kind of lying. You're finding sneaky ways to lie. So we do still have a magazine. We've been online for like 10 years, millions of readers a month. We're one of the bigger independent websites, but that's not saying much anymore. Independent websites have been kind of crushed by Facebook and Instagram and all that. So, we're hanging in there. So please get our newsletter. If you don't, elephantjournal.com/best and elephantjournal.com/newsletter is the link. And I'm going to leave you with that. But I just wanted to talk about that sort of notion as entrepreneurship as cult, which is, we see that with Steve Jobs, with Apple. We see this romance with this great kind of cult leader. And, what does a cult always do? A cult sucks people in, and then it gets exposed and it falls apart. That's the cycle of cults. As a business, you don't want to be a cult. So don't be like WeWork. Actually work on the fundamentals. Don't get all glorified and high on yourself and you're yelling at everybody. So my personal journey as an entrepreneur was, there were parts of me that were high on myself because it was very exciting and I was new and young and I was very inspired, but I also didn't know how to be a manager of people. I was an entrepreneur. I was a really good entrepreneur. I was a really awful manager of people, business manager, CEO. I didn't know anything about any of that. And that's okay. It's okay not to know stuff about things. The best tip I can give anyone who wants to be in business of any kind is to know that you can't know everything. You can't be good at everything. But you can ask others for help. So luckily I had lots of people help me and kind of tame me over the years. And I think I'm a better business manager. I'm far from perfect, but I'm generally pretty mission-driven and warm, and I listen, and I really call for high standards generally. And but at the same time, I'm willing to compromise. So there's a level of, you can have patience about it. You can breathe in and out. You can get better over time. And you don't need to subscribe. Just get the free newsletter. But if you do want to subscribe, it's elephantjournal.com/subscribe. Thanks for mentioning. So if you know the story of WeWork, it was the story of kind of we're going to change the whole world. We're going to be a $47 billion unicorn. We're going to go public. We're kind of arrogant and happy and excited, and we have this amazing mission. It was a mix of really beautiful things and really kind of high in your own supply, to paraphrase Scarface. So you need to kind of get off of your own fan club and just do the work, persevere, be mission driven, try to make tough choices that you care about. And yeah, you have to pivot, you have to evolve, but not in terms of the mission particularly, if you have a good mission, just in terms of the expression of that mission. All right, I hope that was at least vaguely interesting. It's a subject I'm wildly passionate about. I'm not sure if anyone else is, but mindful business. If you could engage in business and tame it, like in Buddhism, we talk about Dharmapala or Mahakala. If you could transform business from an engine for kind of corruption or greed or consumerism or speed into integrity and kindness and responsibility and actually useful things, geez, what better way to be an activist, really, right? But a lot of people say that, I'm going to make a business that'll save the world. It's hard to do. It's like being a parent or a farmer. It's constant details. It's constantly probably waking up early, doing the work. And so my other great piece of advice that I'll leave you with, please do subscribe to keep these videos and podcasts going. We're trying to do them daily now, elephantjournal.com/subscribe. My other piece of advice is very simple, is if you're considering starting a business, of any kind, make sure you got your mission, make sure you got your ability to go forward no matter what. Because if you're even open to the idea of quitting, you probably shouldn't start. Because when you start something, a lot of people kind of depend on you. You make promises to a lot of people. So really follow through. Like being a parent, it's not the kind of situation where you can just leave your kid at Whole Foods or the supermarket or whatever when they're crying and making a scene. Like, ugh, this is too hard, I'm out. You got to deal with the good and the bad and the up and the down and the perseverance. And if you can get below all the drama, again, it's like being a farmer in the sense that it's just a lot of work day in and day out. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the comments, Honeybee and me. And Leslie on Facebook. And YouTube's pretty quiet, but we're trying to build it back up. Help me out by commenting, by subscribing to our video channel, get notifications, to our podcast, to subscribing to elephantjournal.com/subscribe. If so inspired, $3 a month. And it's only, we only need a couple, like 30 or 40 a day to stay in business. All right. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Got to hang up on all these channels here.